Nice. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Harry.
Nice. Thank you for joining me. So, for anybody who's watching this today and isn't sure of what we're doing, this is Harry and Seb Talks. It's a weekly YouTube show where we talk about anything related to Webflow, sales, marketing, and running a business in the agency space. You can follow Sebastian and Laura, who's joining us today, at RE7 on Instagram, and you can follow me, Harry Roper. I'm on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Imaginary Space on Instagram. This week, we have Laura as our guest from RE7. So, Laura, why don't you tell us just quickly a little bit about what you do in the agency?
Oh, thank you. I'm Laura. I'm a sales manager here in the agency. Mainly, I do all the sales. I know it sounds quite simple, but usually I'm doing all the work with the clients, onboarding process, and all the stuff that needs to be prepared before
All the negotiations.
all the negotiation, all the stuff that need to be prepared before starting a real project, and different types of personalities, people, and so on.
So you're the perfect fit because today our topic, as Sebastian knows, is how to sell Webflow websites and marketing. Sebastian, how do you sell Webflow websites and marketing?
We sell mainly marketing, as you know, because we are a marketing agency. I was talking before with Laura a bit, like in the warm-up, and I was like asking myself if I ever sold a website. And I remembered some website that I sold, but it's not so often. So the question, how to sell marketing? How do we sell marketing, Laura? You came in May. You came
Yeah,
to
I came in May, and there is not a recipe exactly. So you need to be into the skin of every people. And I'm starting to the point when you receive leads. What do you do when you receive an inquiry? Of course, you can have leads, you can receive, but what do you do after you receive an inquiry? How can you prospect them? How can you measure their temperature?
Yeah.
Sure.
So, for example, first to get the customer on the phone as soon as possible. That's what we discussed, because before, Laura, we had kind of like a sales procedure, but because we didn't have nobody dedicated, so this is a really important thing. When you're doing still like project management and doing your own project, same goes probably for the website. You can't focus completely on sales. And what is also most important is the follow-up, for example. So how do we do sales? Is like we work with Pipedrive.
Yes.
So we get mainly our sales through referral or through search engine optimization. They come, then you call them, you have a script.
Yeah, I call them. I have a discovery call all the time, or it depends. I have sometimes I have some, because I really like to call that people. If some people, they don't give the number and just they send an email. And when I have the phone, I love to call them to see, hey, how do you prefer to communicate? I'm really transparent about this. I love to ask, okay, do you want to keep the communication on the email? What is the best to fit your communication? Because some people are shy and you can talk with them on phone or on Zoom, maybe don't have time. So the good part is like to treat them like a best friend. Hey, what do you like to do? What fits you the most?
That's really nice. So it's a great point, right? Accommodating their needs and their wants, making them feel comfortable as well. I really like the point that you said about feeling their temperature at the beginning, and what's the process that you have from when somebody gets in contact with you straight away all the way to the end, rather than just saying, oh, they want a project with us, so we're just going to try and push them down into a discovery call straight away without a few little steps at the start. For anybody who's listening, a tip that I would give is that we do Loom videos as a personalized welcome when a new lead comes in. So if somebody books a call with us, we'll record a Loom video and send that to them, showing how excited we are that they booked a call with us, saying about maybe some things that we need them to bring to the meeting with them as well. And just really saying like, thank you at the end of the day for booking a call with us, and let's smash it. Don't worry about saying and stuff like that. That's really human. Don't worry about your kid or your dog walking in the background as well. They'll probably find it funny. And everybody's pretty used to that nowadays with the whole sort of lockdown culture as well overall. But I think it's a really great point, making sure that the steps that you follow when a new prospect comes in, you have them, and it's not just straight to a business call.
Yeah, it's a nice idea with the Loom video. But one thing, for example, that we were also discussing with the Loom video, funny enough, but we were like, there's a cultural difference, you know, like for Romania, it wouldn't work probably as good as it works for the UK, you know, because people are not so much into it. Some clients that we have, they are not at this age that they appreciate this. Younger generation, they, wow, awesome, nice. But for some older clients, they would be like, what is this? I don't like it. They seem too, how to say, they would see this as unprofessional. We see this as professional. They would see this probably as unprofessional. So that's why we said, okay, we take the normal thing, get them on the phone. But what I think is important, what we also set up a process that we take them by the hand through the processes. So we explain them everything, because sometimes you have clients that don't know anything, and you have to start from the beginning. And sometimes you have clients that are really skilled, and you're like, oh my God, I need an expert with me in the room, because they might, know more than you.
Yeah, they might more than me. So when I met this kind of client, I usually love to put also the expert on the call to speak with him more on the problem.
Sure. So in your guys' terms, because some people who are watching this might be freelancing, might have an agency. So when you're saying expert, right, it's like having either somebody who's more knowledgeable than you in that field. If you're running an agency, it's maybe having like one of the guys who works for you in that call with you. But if you're a freelancer and the client's really knowledgeable, what would you advise the freelancer to do?
Yeah, good question. What you should do, I think, if the person knows more than you, maybe he doesn't know in detail. I have you see more than me, but if I take you in detail, believe me, you know nothing.
Or like what you mentioned yesterday when we had like we are now on a team building, so we were speaking. I think you had first meeting or something, or
yes.
And you were telling that you were like going more on the personal level to understand the client. That was a good strategy. Maybe you can say a bit more about it.
Yes, because I don't like to jump into technical stuff. I usually don't do this on the discovery calls, because this is the work of the project manager to explain the technical stuff. So all the time I'm trying to do on this psychological funnel to see what needs they are having, what is the confusion, and then to teach the confusion and then to find the solution, something like this. For the people who already know and are into marketing, they experience something bad with another agency, I always be transparent with them, saying, okay, I don't promise you anything, but I promise you that you will know everything about your business updated. So I think the point when you said what I should do when I'm freelancer and someone's know more than me, it's to be transparent. Hey, I'm not doing a gold mine with you, but I believe that we'll have a very good communication. We will work together like a team, and I will find life solution if something happens. I think this is the only solution.
Yeah, that they feel safe.
Yeah, they need to feel they need to feel safe, not need to come to say a lot of technical stuff with a lot of technical things, with a lot of analysis and numbers and so on. If they feel like, okay, this could be my friend and I could call this person every day and say, hey, this is not working, let's do something. I think this wins much more than knowledge.
Sure. I wanted to move on and talk about red flags in a sales process, right? And what would be some of the red flags for you guys when you're talking to a client at the beginning of the sales process that says, even if they had 30,000 euros, you're like, no, there's too many red flags here and we're not going to do it?
Red flags. There are several. You mentioned already they have money, so I couldn't say. For example, also an issue is if there's lots of negotiation in it, and it's only about money. But I also we don't like just somebody is asking, hey, I want just an offer, no explanation and so on. They don't want to be in our process. They don't want to fit and work with us. They just want probably just compare prices and look who's the cheapest. This is like what we are don't like, you know. What is the red flag for your websites?
Sorry, say that again.
What is the red flag for you, for example?
Sure. A client just comes along and says, I don't care about what it looks like, just make me it. That's a classic. And
so also they just give you everything and they don't want to be involved.
Exactly. And I feel like that's a really big problem because there's two types of websites that you can make. You can make one that just looks good and you give it to the client and it does nothing. There's a website that you build that has a strategy behind it, a goal, and it does something as well. And when they say that they don't want to be involved in the process, like you said, then it's a real big problem. At the same time, if a client's shopping around for prices, there's a great line by Chris Do where he just goes, we don't bid for projects. So you either come to us or you don't. And if you like our price and you like our proposal, we'll do the job. But we don't pitch against other agencies. So if you're shopping around, we're not interested. We'd rather have a more serious conversation. I think that sets such a professional tone. Would you guys agree?
Yes, I agree with you. But coming back to this example that you had with one freelancer, the freelancer needs somebody to get in, you know? It depends also on the position. For example, we were also in the position at the beginning when you weren't on board that we had to take the project because we needed to pay our employees. Even if we are not like, it had some red flags, but we were like, okay, we can look further, but this is like good money for our company in order to grow. And to also think as a challenge to have some learnings out of this relationship. How can you do better or how do you handle these clients? Because it's also good if you learn how to handle these red flag clients maybe at the beginning. And for the future, I totally agree. Right now, we are in a position where we can say, okay, we don't want to waste our energy with you. And we are not on a market where we negotiate all the prices. Either you work with us or you go to somebody else and you come back in a year and then you want to work with us, but then you pay, of course, more because we also increasing our value and our prices. So it's your decision, you know?
Mm-hmm. I think, yeah, it's a really good point. And again, it's all about setting the tone with them. You're a professional company, not a freelancer at the end of the day, or some like crazy agency that just sort of does whatever. But I think that setting the tone and being professional is like a really important thing, right? Having a proposal, having a contract, having a process, and giving them the confidence that you guys and my agency are like the professionals that they want and they need to help them with their problem, right?
Yeah, and we get lots of clients, for example, that come to us, work with other agencies, and they are, you telling me this quite often, they are really surprised, like, wow, you're following up. I never had this, or you respond fast and you send out proposals. I don't know what else
Most in the last part of the time, we send a lot of clients from the other agencies in Bucharest, and they were like, oh, I'm so tired. I can't communicate with them. They just disappear. They just say nothing. And I'm surprised because I'm working with their money, with their business, with their income. Why I should just sit and do like this all the day and not talking with the clients? So all the time they choose us, of course, because we generate good leads and loads of stuff. They also choose us because we are very transparent, we are friendly, we love to explain everything.
How important is it to follow up with a client, Laura, and how often do you do it?
So my follow-up process depends on the time. Usually I send the proposal, the offer, after the discovery meeting, 2 or 3 days after, depends on my time, or 1 day after. Some people just respond, hey, will analyze and come back next week. They come back next week, or they call saying, yes, I am agree. I would love to work with you. But usually if I don't get any answer, I do my follow-up after 1 week or one week and a half.
We did first like 3 days or maybe earlier, but from the experience, we figured out we need at least to give them 5 business days.
Sure.
Follow up, because they don't have so much, they are still in business and they don't have time to read on this.
So they don't have time.
Yeah.
Like when you want to invest in something, it's an entire process. You need to talk with the accountant, you need to talk with another managers, you need maybe to talk with the owner, or maybe with the family, with the wife, with the husband. So it's an entire process. If you call him next day, like, hey, what do you think about our offer? Do you want to see him fast? It would be like, so nice.
Sure.
To let them to take their time to analyze. I had some surprising moments when a client just called me after 3 months saying, I want to sign. Or calling me just 1 month and they say nothing, like they didn't answer on the phone.
You followed up,
yeah,
you sent them emails.
I always follow up and send them emails and suggestions and a very detailed proposal. So yeah, this be a recipe about that. Just you need to feel all the people.
And another thing that I want to add, what is really nice in Pipedrive, for example, you can add a proposal there and you see if somebody opened the proposal.
Yes, it's the tracking.
Yeah, it's the tracking, which is really nice, because sometimes when it takes some time and they open it, then you can send them an email and could say a good salesman would right now get in contact with you and ask you if you have any questions for the proposal. And you're like, what? How did you know I opened the proposal right now? Or where does this come from? You know, this is like a really nice thing to show them how this thing goes and what can you do with good online marketing, you know?
Yeah, very nice. I think and that is like really important for us as salespeople, right? If like somebody's ignoring you, or like you haven't heard from them in a while, like people are really busy, as you guys mentioned, and like sometimes they just need a follow-up because maybe they read it, maybe they downloaded it, but then the kid came in and said, Dad, I need you to help me with this, and then they get distracted or something like that, or mum as well. And yeah, sorry, you say something, Sebastian.
I wanted to ask you, how's your follow-up process? How are you doing this with the websites? Because it's also, I think, a much bigger amount for one project, and the website is their presentation of business, you know?
So something that we do a bit different in our sales process for selling Webflow websites is that we do a discovery call where we're asking them all the questions, trying to figure out what they need. Some things you can say in that call is like when they say, oh, we want to do that, you can say, yeah, that's great, I'll put that in a proposal, kind of tempering the call around the fact that they will be receiving a proposal, putting them in that mindset. Then when we actually do the proposal, we book a meeting in with them to go through the proposal with them. This way, when we actually go through it with them, we can do any objections with them on the call. As you said, price is quite big, but usually we do like price anchoring. So when you're in the proposal meeting, you can quickly find out if their price is good or not with them by just going along. You get to the price, you say, this website's going to be 6,500. Then just pause, wait for a minute. It's going to be so tempting to talk, but just keep that pause.
Nice.
Keep that pause. And they will always give away how they're feeling about it. They'll either go, okay, and then you just move on, or they say, oh, that's and you go, okay, maybe we need to talk around the price before we go through anything else. But usually, you know, they know our prices beforehand. We've got it on our website, etc. So anyway, then we go through all the points in the proposal. We tell them what they can expect at each stage. Maybe we have some pictures of their team in the proposal, some pictures of our team. Try and make it seem like we're all working together. And then, yeah, basically on that call, you do the objections and you say, would you like to move forward? Would you like to not? And it's really weird. 50-50. 50% will say, we really like this, but we need to have a chat. And you can literally, Zoom has breakout rooms. So you can put them in a breakout room and then they can go and have their chat in private. And then you can bring them back onto the call and they can then say, yeah, we've had our discussion, yes or no. That's for multiple people. If not, maybe they say, okay, really appreciate the presentation. Leave it with us, we'll come back. And usually what we do on the end of that proposal call is we book in another follow-up call just to kind of get the decision. We play it really casually. We say, we're going to ring your mobile on this day at this time to get your opinion and feedback on it. And usually that's at the end of the week. So we do the presentation on the Tuesday. And I say, okay, Friday, what time's best to give your mobile a call? And I'll follow up and see what you think about the proposal. And we go from there. The main thing here is, for us anyway, we don't give the client any wiggle room to squirm out at all.
That's really, really nice, especially with this pause after the price. This is like something we should also try to see how this will work. Yeah, nice.
Great, guys. Okay, I think that's a really cool point to maybe end on there. So I wanted to say thanks to Laura for joining us today. It's been really good to meet you and talk a bit more about sales. Laura, if anybody wants to connect with you or follow you, where's the best place to do that?
On LinkedIn, I think.
On LinkedIn?
Yes. On my business profile.
Yeah, on your business profile, Laura Popescu, yes. Just on LinkedIn, or just go on RE7 Consulting and just shoot out an email to us. And if you want to get some digital marketing, Laura will do the discovery session with you and we'll sell you our products and services.
Nice. And Sebastian, if people want to follow you or connect with you?
Best also on LinkedIn, Sebastian Bayer, or just follow RE7 Consulting. And I think in the Instagram profile, you can also follow me directly on Instagram if you want. If not, just write a comment here on YouTube if you want more like a discussion to have about marketing strategy or something else, or automatization. And for you, it's also LinkedIn, I guess.
Yeah, Harry Roper on LinkedIn. You can follow my vlog on YouTube. That's Harry Roper as well. And you can connect with us on Instagram at Imaginary Space. Guys, thank you so much for coming. If you guys enjoyed viewing this episode, let us know in the comments what we should be talking about next week. Please subscribe, because that tells us that we're putting out the right content. And if we're not putting out the right content, tell us down below and we'll try and make a better job. Apart from that, it's been really good. Thanks again, guys, and see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.